Hi everybody, welcome to week 6. I hope you've had a lovely weekend and haven't been too crazy with all the Christmas crazies that are going on at the moment. Congratulations for those people that have finished their first assignment. I hope you're breathing a sigh of relief and hopefully found the experience not to be too challenging. Uh, there have been a few people that have requested extensions, which are absolutely fine. If you did have any issues with submission or anything like that, please make sure that you get on to me as soon as possible with any issues that you may have had. Otherwise, I'm really looking forward to starting to read what you came up with for the case study. Couple of things this week. It is our last week before our consolidation week, which happens next week, the week starting Monday the 17th of December. This will also lead into the 2-week break for Christmas and New Year's. So please make sure that that you've read through this week's overview, because there's a lot of information in there in relation to who to contact during this time if you have any urgent issues. I'd also strongly encourage you to go back through any of the activities that you may have missed and do any of the readings that you may not have completed during this time as well. And of course have a bit of R&R and relax, especially during the Christmas and New Year period. So classes do start back, I believe, on Monday the 31st of January. I will likely be back just checking my email on these days and probably back on board the first couple of days of the new year, which I assume that most of you will also be doing as well. This week we have our collaboration sessions for assessment 2. I will actually be attending this one, which I'm really excited about considering I missed the last one. So we have 2 sessions. We have an evening session this Tuesday the 11th at 7:30 Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time, and this will be run by Erin, Miranda, myself and Colette. And then we also have a day session this Friday the 14th of December at 11 a.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Saving Time with Suzanne, Sue and Angela. There is a link to the Flip Collaborate session, so make sure you've had a look at this prior to the sessions and come along with any questions that you might have about assignment 2. There will be recordings generated for both of these sessions. They usually come through about 24 hours after the sessions have been live. And there will also be a Padlet very shortly with more of an overview about assignment 2 as well. This assignment is due on Monday the 14th of January, so it is week 9, so you do have a couple of weeks when we go back to go back over this, but I'm also aware that there might be lots of people that would like to get a head start of this over the break as well. What else? Groups for assessment or assignment 3, please make sure that you've signed up, done a self sign in. I can see that most of the groups are pretty full, which is fantastic. If you haven't done this already, I will go through towards the middle of this week and allocate anyone into a group that hasn't already done so. Please let me know if you've got any questions or queries about this as well, and I can help you with that. So lots and lots of reminders this week. So last week we were having a look at duty of care statements, and we did a flow chart in relation to mandatory reporting, your role as a teacher, and what the different policies are from state to state. It was fantastic to see also an international perspective put in there by Shalini, so thank you so much for that. Was very quiet on the boards, but I'm assuming that everyone was working through assignments. So if you do have a chance to come back and contribute to this discussion, that would be fantastic. The key things that we had coming out of that week were that we really need to follow the steps involved with our duty of care. It starts off by saying that, step 1 is forming that, profile or overview of the child that you're concerned about, and then collecting evidence, making records, following the procedures within that educational setting, and notifying the appropriate people and support agencies as well. So it is a really important topic to go over, and I strongly encourage you to go back and have a go at doing the flow chart and looking up the state that you're from's policies on this as well, just to get your head around it a little bit more. So it was great to see people having a go with the flowcharts. Well done. Hopefully you can use this as a resource in your teaching and learning portfolios and be able to refer back to that as you go through as well. It'd also be great if anyone could share any experiences they may have had already with having to follow this duty of care. I've got lots of them, but it'd be interesting to see if anybody else has had any experience with this as well. So week 6, it's a really great activity this week. We are looking at putting together a little bit of a clip based on your family. So the topic for this week is, I'm just going to go back to my overview, is looking at what happens to children when they're found to be in need of care and protection and therefore removed from their homes and families. So really, really important topic. We're going to be looking at out of care home definitions and terminologies and what the different placement types are, list of challenges for both the students and teachers and other parties that might be involved, looking at the role of your teacher and the government in the child protection policy, what strategies to you can implement within the classroom to support these children, and describing a range of diverse needs of children within this group. So looking a little bit differently past the obvious ones surrounding that safe home environment. Suggest ways to include these children in conversations about their life. So really opening, the lines of communication and letting these children know that you are there as a support network and approachable. And just, looking at ways that this is implemented within the schools. I'm sorry, you can probably hear my son in the background. He's carrying on about bedtime. Okay, so this week's activity, I want you to have a look through the Family Circle video, which is posted in our notes, and also I've just put a link to it here. And then see if you could present a little bit of a presentation or clip surrounding, a family. So it might be your family and you're trying to unpack stereotypes which are affiliated with what we call a normal family. So we want to look at how we can look at true diversity and other support networks that children may view as part of their family, so that extends into the greater community, to other parents, other children, other caregivers, support agencies and so forth. So have a go at producing your own presentation to explain what your family is like to primary school aged children, as highlighted in the Family Circle clip, and consider those greater support systems that you might have heard about as well. Then you're going to share your video on the discussion board and just give a brief summary as to what you've learned from the discussion. Try and avoid the direct concepts, just link it to your own experiences, and then have a go at providing some feedback to another person's video as well. It's a great interactive activity, this one. It's a great way to share